don't know, I'm Katie, and I'm going to talk to you today about Wheel Food. Wheel Food is a social enterprise that we are looking to get set up to address the needs associated with youth unemployment. Today, or last year, 2012, close to 75 million youths or young people were identified as being unemployed, and in September 2012 in Australia that number was at the 25.1% of young people were completely unemployed, so no training, no real prospects. Consider on top of that that young people are also 3 times more likely than adults to be unemployed. And then think about really young people, those ones that are marginalised, they're falling through the cracks and they don't fit the traditional educational or academic model. From an employer perspective, think about education in itself. It's not necessarily adequately tailored to the labour market needs. So those kids that do make it through school, do they have the skills to bring to a normal workforce? The real answer, we think, is scalable innovations that help young people secure their first employment. Wheel Food is one of those scalable innovations. So we move young people from work experience to real employment. The way that we do this is we have a network of local restaurants, cafes and suppliers that provide us with produce, recipe ideas and hopefully volunteers. We also work with organisations such as Brisbane Youth Services to connect with teenagers, the ones that are really falling through the cracks, the ones that don't necessarily fit any of the models that already exist. Approaching corporate sponsors for funding, we are looking to set up our Wheel Food truck that offers real work experience in a supported environment with actual trained chefs and supportive people from organisations such as Brisbane Youth Services. Our Wheel Food truck will create and supply food to you guys, anybody in and around Brisbane. For example, there's a spot on Eagle Street Pier where people can go and park up and you can buy lunch from somewhere different, somewhere a bit unusual. Our idea is that people will buy their lunch and they'll pay what they think it's worth. We'll give them an idea of how much it costs to make it, and we'll give them an idea of how much it would traditionally cost if you were to go to a real restaurant or a real cafe. And somewhere in that bracket, they'll pick a number that they think the food is worth. As well as that, they'll also vote online for the service they receive and the food that they receive. At the end of our program, which we envisage being approximately 8 weeks long, our youths will be awarded a letter of recommendation from Wheel Food, and we'll also introduce them to our network. So we'll talk to registered training organisations, we'll potentially offer them real jobs with our networks of cafes and restaurants, and we'll help them get into that network and really have some prospects. And those votes that come in, we'll have a little prize, a special prize, something to really work for, and a real recognition of the fact that you've gone above and beyond and really given your all. From a young person perspective, we want a strong online presence. So we want our young people to become foodies, and we want them to tell their story. We want them to be able to talk about where they've come from, what they've been through, and what we at Wheel Foods have helped them achieve. The way that we want to do that is we want to start small, one truck in Brisbane, and build our network, build our contacts. I am from a hospitality background. I have a husband who's a chef. I want to network, and gather as many contacts as I possibly can. From there, we want to scale up. So 3 years' time, 3 trucks in Brisbane. And from there, we really want to step up. So Wheel Food ultimately becomes a registered training organisation in itself, and we offer the young people the opportunity to do Certificate 2s in hospitality or food safety and food handling. Just imagine you're 16. You don't fit in at school. You can't get on with your teachers, you're pretty much homeless, you've been kicked out of home or you've moved out of home, and you're unemployed. What are your real prospects? Where do you really go? Us at Wheel Foods, we welcome you with open arms, and we want to teach you that with good experiences, you can really nourish yourself personally and professionally, and we can really sustain that as an ongoing movement. We want everybody to join the Wheel Food movement.